Have you ever stared at your to-do list and felt strangely tired, even before doing a single thing? The paper lies quietly in front of you. The tasks are not impossible. In fact, some of them are small, very small. Yet your mind feels heavy, as if each word on that list carries a hidden weight. Many years ago, in a quiet town surrounded by dusty roads and slow sunsets, there lived a young man named Ian. People believed he was intelligent, capable, full of potential, but Ian carried a secret struggle that nobody truly saw. Every morning he made plans. He would sit by the window, sunlight slowly touching the wooden table, and write down everything he wanted to accomplish. Wake up early, clean the room, work on my dream, exercise, learn something new. The list always looked beautiful, but by evening, almost nothing was done. At first, Ian blamed time. "I just didn't have enough time today," he would whisper to himself. Then he blamed motivation. "I'll start properly tomorrow." But tomorrow slowly became next week, and next week quietly turned into months. One evening, frustrated and tired of himself, Ian walked outside the town. The sky was turning orange, and the wind carried the smell of dry earth. At the edge of the road sat an old man who was known by the villagers as someone who spoke very little, but when he did, people listened. Ian sat beside him. For a while, neither of them spoke. The silence itself felt like a question. Finally, Ian sighed and said, "I don't understand what's wrong with me. I have dreams, I have plans, but when the time comes to act, I feel stuck." The old man did not react immediately. He picked up a small stone and gently rolled it in his palm.
"Tell me," the old man said softly, "when you look at your work, what do you see?" "A mountain," Ion replied instantly. "Too many things, too much effort." The old man smiled faintly. "Mountains are interesting," he said. "From far away they look impossible, but step closer and you only see the next step." Ion looked confused. The old man pointed toward the road. "Walk with me." They began walking slowly. The evening had grown quieter now. Crickets had started their song. After a few minutes, the old man stopped. "Lift your foot," he said. Ion did. "Now place it down." Ion placed it down. "That," the old man said, "is how mountains are crossed." Ion frowned. "I don't understand." The old man chuckled gently. "You are trying to conquer the whole day before you even begin the first minute." The words hung in the air. Then the old man said something that Ion would remember for the rest of his life. "Do it for 10 minutes." "10 minutes?" Ion asked. "Yes," the old man replied. "When your mind resists a task, promise yourself you will do it for only 10 minutes, no more. After that, you are free to stop." Ion laughed slightly. "That sounds too simple." "Most powerful things are," the old man replied calmly. That night, Ion returned home, not fully convinced, but curious. The next morning, the same familiar battle appeared. His to-do list sat on the table. His mind whispered its usual excuses. "Later, you're tired, it's too much." But then he remembered the old man's words. Just 10 minutes, nothing more. So he picked the task he had avoided for weeks, working on the project he dreamed about. He set a timer, 10 minutes. At first his body resisted, his thoughts wandered, his focus slipped. But something strange happened around the 7th minute. The resistance became quieter. His hands moved more naturally. His mind slowly entered the work. Then the timer rang. 10 minutes were over. Ion leaned back and smiled. "I can stop now," he told himself. But he didn't, because starting had been the hardest part. That day, Ion worked almost an hour. The next day, he repeated the experiment, 10 minutes. Again, the wall in his mind appeared, and again it cracked open once he began. Days passed, then weeks. Slowly, something inside Ion began to change. The tasks on his list no longer looked like mountains. They looked like small doors, doors that only required 10 minutes of courage to open. One afternoon, he ran into the old man again. This time, Ion's face looked different, lighter. "What happened to the mountain?" the old man asked with a gentle smile. Ion laughed. "It disappeared." "No," the old man corrected softly. "You walked through it." Ion thought about that, and he realized something deeper. The problem had never been laziness, it had been fear. Fear of starting, fear of imperfection, fear of the long road ahead. But 10 minutes felt safe enough to begin. The old man looked toward the horizon and said quietly, "Your mind tries to protect you from effort. It whispers comfort, delay, excuses. But action, even small action, breaks the spell." The wind moved through the trees, and for a moment everything felt still. Years later, Ion would tell others about that simple lesson, not about discipline, not about productivity, but about beginnings. Because in modern life, people are surrounded by endless tasks, notifications, responsibilities, and expectations. The mind becomes overwhelmed before the work even starts. But life rarely asks us to finish everything today. It only asks us to begin. 10 minutes of writing, 10 minutes of cleaning, 10 minutes of learning, 10 minutes of courage. And strangely, once the door opens, we often keep walking. So the next time your to-do list feels heavy, remember this quiet truth. You do not need more motivation. You do not need a perfect plan. You only need 10 minutes and the willingness to begin.